And I want to say a few words about how this connects with Network for Progress in terms of what we can do as an advocate, I feel, to use especially online tools to spread our message. And also, you know, in the mainstream media, you know, once things get popular online, sometimes they get popular on TV too. So, but we want to use, you know, I think a lot of us already use Facebook and Twitter, and or now I realize I probably need to get on Foursquare, but we want to encourage everybody to, if you don't have a Twitter account, maybe get one, and you know, find a theme that you want. Maybe you could be the DuPont Metro Democrat or whatever. You know, everybody's got a niche. So, you know, it's kind of like the precinct captains in traditional politics. So, so we want to use social media a lot. We want to, you know, one of the great things about the Obama campaign was the use of My Barack Obama groups, which are pretty much Google groups. And, you know, I pretty much use Google Groups as a listserv now. But we want to encourage, whether it be a mass list of thousands of people or a group of 10 people all working on one specific project, we want to make sure that people are connecting online. And it's a great outreach tool and it's a great communications tool. And in terms of outreach, we also need to talk about messaging. And I think a lot of people would probably agree that one thing that Democrats can use some help on is getting out their message communication-wise. And whether it, you know, I personally like to, my Twitter account is Forward Progressive. Because I like to talk about being progressive, it's progress, it's moving forward. It's not necessarily left-wing. The don't ask, don't tell repeal. When 72% of the people support something, it's not progressive anymore, it's mainstream. So, yes, please clap that. So we don't want to talk about Glenn Beck anymore. We want to talk about our message, which is what we want is mainstream. We're not going to talk about Sarah Palin. Don't talk about Sarah Palin month, according to Dana Milbank in Washington. But although I did have an anti-Bristol Palin watching party, which did get in the TV column of the Post, so I can say that. And we got more coverage than the Tea Party. It was it was more pro-Jennifer Gray, and in my quotes in the newspaper I said we want merit to win. So, although we might want to confront people like in the Tea Party sometimes in our messaging, we really want to focus on getting out our message, which is merit should win. So, anyway, we need to think about messaging too, and everybody can contribute to letting us know what do you think are the messages that work best in your community. So, in the future, who knows? A Network for Progress could wind up being Current TV, which now has Keith Olbermann, and is pretty dedicated to progressive or, you know, pro-Obama values. So we have future in the media and social media messaging area of outreach. Huh? Yeah, hopefully I'll be on there. Okay. And one thing I just want to add that before I get into kind of my summary of this whole thing is so the importance of service. And by service, I don't necessarily mean public service. I mean also customer service. We need to reach out to people, and people who are, you know, on the Obama list has 13 million people. We need to reach out to those people individually. And when they come to an event, surprise them with a prize or whatever, or be responsive to them when they have questions. One thing I've learned through coming to various events over the years, or reading different books, is there's a guy named Tony Hsieh who wrote a book called Delivering Happiness. And we could probably all learn in politics a lot about how we can apply delivering happiness to voters, volunteers, donors, etc. That kind of providing the wow factor where you're extra responsive to somebody who's willing to buy your product or vote for your candidate is really important to building relationships and get people coming back. So I just want to make a quick note about that as well. And that's an innovation from the technology community on Zappos.com, which you might have all brought shoes for. All right. Now I want to sum up by explaining okay, what's the big picture of all this? What is Network for Progress? Well, this has actually been kind of a 6-year journey for me, I think. In 2005, I learned that there was a chasm between the people who volunteer on campaigns and the people who are in part of the Democratic Party. And there was always a lot of people who dropped off the map after the campaign was over. And I found out with the Kerry campaign and Democracy for America was created by the Deaniacs. Then in the Web campaign, there was the Web Brigades, which is a group of alumni of the Web campaign in Northern Virginia. And now we have a lot of Obama grassroots people. Some of them are not plugging into the Young Democrats and the Democratic Party. So one big reason why I find this group to be very important is that we can take the entrepreneurial aspects of the campaign universe and we can take the structure and the community building of the party and other organizations and kind of take the best of both worlds and bring them together. And so that's a dynamic that I think is very important, that meet that need of having a permanent 24/7, 365 grassroots group that's focused on just bringing us together and keeping people plugged in no matter what time of the year, so they stay involved and they always have a place to go where they can have events that they can enjoy and hopefully stay, be active as well.